This conference will now be recorded.
Hi, good morning and good evening, everyone. Is screen, voice, everything clear?
Yes.
Yeah, Shiva, it's clear.
Can anyone tell me by unmuting yourself?
Yeah, Shiva, it's clear. We can see your screen and we can hear you.
Oh. Am I audible? I cannot hear anyone's voice.
Yes, Shiva, you are audible. I can see your screen. Shiva, can you hear me?
Okay, thank you. Okay, so today is the final session. So almost we completed many topics. Today I will tell you the disadvantages of our earlier approach. So before that, I want to recap some confusing things which even I made you confuse also. So Git is a distributed revision control system. So this I will make it as 3 parts: distributed revision control system. So you need to visualize Git as 3 sections. First thing, control system. It's like tracking your versions. So what is tracking your versions means? Each time you change something, Git will create one commit. So this is this one, tracking your versions. And next we'll see revision. So revision means you can parallelly create multiple versions. Multiple, I can say branches, not to confuse you. Okay, so here in single branch you can do lot of versions. Here you can create lot of branches, and distributed means you can create lot of such systems. Many laptops connected. So these are all these 3 features. So if you see an onion structure, Git is oftenly called as onion structure. So this is control system. Also I can come from top. This is control, and this is revision. Revision means more branching, and this is distributed. So now if you see, so just peel off all the layers like onion. First thing basic is control system. Means every time you change, you will create one commit ID. So next thing, revision. You can create multiple branches so that parallelly lot of persons can work. And the third thing, distributed. So many laptops connected to one central repository. So this is this one. So ultimately in our branching model, master, development, these are main branches, feature, rebase, and then hotfix. So you know what are the source and targets of these things. So ultimately we need to incorporate changes from one branch to another branch. So this is the total concept, right? So these are very simple concepts. So for that we have two options. One is classic merge and the other is rebase. Okay. So for example, you have a feature 1.1 and you need to incorporate it into the development. So we have two options. Classic merge. What you do, git checkout. First thing, git checkout development and then git pull. Just a recap. I'll do the recap very fast. Okay. And then git checkout feature slash 1.1 and then git merge. So you carefully visualize this. This is a master branch. So this is feature branch. So before that, master have two commits, and from here automatically the feature also will get these two commits, and we did some three commits here, and parallelly somebody also pushed some commits to the master branch. So now merging master into feature means creating one new commit ID. It's nothing but like this. So this is new commit ID. So why new commit ID? Because there will be conflicts. If there are no conflicts also, it will create one commit ID just to indicate at this point two branches are merged. So git merge will always create commit ID by default. Note this point, by default, to indicate two branches are merged. Okay, so but these commit IDs will not change. So here the disadvantages is your history will be polluted with some extra commits, unwanted commits. Okay, your history will not look clean. That's the only thing. And we'll take one more case also. So this is master branch and feature branch. Some extra commits, and nobody did anything into the master branch. Still we will go for merge. Okay, 1 second. Still we will go for merge. Here whether we need to create the extra commit ID or not. Is it necessary to create extra commit ID? Because nothing conflict. Just what I will do is usually we will move this into the master branch like this. Okay, just visualize this. What we do if there are no changes in master, there is no need of creating extra commit ID. You can just move like this. Okay, so not this. I will come to this point again. When there are no changes in the target branch, usually no need of extra commit ID. Just note this, we'll come to this. And we have one more option, git rebase. So in this also, these three things are same. Just command will difference, git rebase, development. So in this process, what will happen is, suppose this is master branch. Here we got one feature branch. In between, there are some commits. So here what we do is, we cannot, Rebase will never create extra commit. So that fact you should understand. Rebase will never create extra commit ID. So how we do the rebasing is, you need to squash this. Best approach is, you need to squash your commits through interactive rebasing. Don't confuse. Interactive rebase is different, rebase is different. In interactive rebase, you will get lot of options, like you can drop the commits you don't want, you can squash it in the sense. So for example, you have committed 30-40 commits. You want all that into a single commit ID, like you completed the development in single commit. Okay. So that is, rebasing is like mixing all the commits into one commit ID, because it will be very easy for the rebasing. Otherwise, first this will go and rebase with all these things. But rebase itself, you can understand, changing the base to development branch, I mean target branch. So now my intention is, this feature branch should look like a sequence of master development. Okay. So, but without creating extra commit, how it is possible is, it will rewrite the history. It will change the content here and it will change the commit ID. Rebase will rewrite the history, but history looks clean. So here there are no extra commits. It will be just like, so like this it will happen. So now you can see the history is looking very clean. There are no extra commits. You can see this without having M symbol on the history. Just very simple. Rebasing means changing the base of a source branch to the target branch. In this process, definitely the commit IDs will be changed, but it will not create extra commit. Okay, so simple. So you should visualize these things while you are doing. Okay. So what happened in this? Here also you got the same result. Rebase and merge for the same thing, incorporating the source branch changes into the target branch. So we pulled the development changes into the rebase, and just it is like a base of this feature branch is changed to the master branch. That's it, nothing else. Okay, so these two are different merge options you have. So this is into your local. Now what about into your central repository, means remote repository? So you should decide some merge strategy. For example, you can follow merge or rebase, anything in your local. But here you have to follow some merge strategy. That is like fast forward, no fast forward, fast forward only. So what are the difference between these three things? Fast forward. First we will see. Show you here. Now you come here, you can see the merge strategies in the settings. So this is no fast forward. It means always create a new merge commit and update the target branch to it. So it means, so I told you here one option. When there are no changes in the target branch, usually there is no need of extra commit. But what fast forward, no fast forward. No fast forward tells is, even there are no changes in target branch, it will create extra commit ID. This is no fast forward, remember this. So we already visualized here. Even there are no changes in the target branch, this is target, this is source, it will create a commit ID. That is called no fast forward. Now it comes to fast forward. You can see here description, fast forward. If the source branch is out of date with the target branch, creates a merge commit. It means this scenario. Here the source branch, this is source branch, right? Is out of date with target branch because target branch have some extra changes. So in this case, definitely a merge commit will be created if source branch is out of date with target branch. Okay, but if the source branch is up to date, it will not create merge commit. Okay, so these two are exactly opposite. No fast forward, whatever it is, it will create merge commit. Fast forward, if there are changes in the target branch, then only it will create, otherwise it will not create. Then there is one more, fast forward only. So these things happen. When this will happen, actually merge strategy, when you rise PR and get the approval and click on merge. So these are the strategies for this merge. What will happen when you click on merge? No fast forward, definitely merge commit ID will be created. Fast forward, if there are changes in the target branch, then only it will create, otherwise it will not create. Fast forward only. So see this, fast forward only. If the source branch is out of date with the target branch, reject the merge request. Otherwise, update the target branch to the latest commit on the source branch. See here. So what happened here? Earlier, master is pointing here. Now when we did some rebase, now the master is pointing, I mean the tip of the master branch. The tip of the master branch is now here. So in this case, there is no extra commit ID at all. So that is called rebasing in your local, and then the merge strategy will be fast forward only. Fast forward only. You must pull the changes into source branch from target branch and do rebase. So this is called fast forward merge strategy. Definitely this is very important in developing microservices and agile developments. Today I had a discussion with one of the development team manager. So I asked her, what is your merging strategy? Then she said, I don't know. Then I asked, fast forward merge, fast forward only, not even fast forward, fast forward only merge. Then she said, I don't know. So this is the gap. Because of this, there are a lot of confusions and more work in the developers, DevOps, testers. So they should understand what is happening when they are doing something. Okay, so otherwise you will simply blindly follow the old type of branching, and then you will end up with resolving the conflicts and doing some workarounds, all those things. Okay, so this is fast forward. So now if you have this setting, you are forced to pull the target branch changes into the source branch and then rebase them so that extra commit will not be created. So I will tell you why I'm applying this force into the microservices development at least. Any doubts till now? If there are any doubts, you can unmute and ask or type whatever.
Hi Shiva, Rohit here. Am I
Anybody
audible?
speaking? I cannot listen. Rohit?
Yes, hello. Am I audible?
Something happened to my speakers. I think it was in mute. Anybody speaking now?
Am I audible now?
Rohit is speaking, and I cannot. Ranjit, can you speak?
Yes, Shiva.
Something happened to my speakers.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so I'll continue. So this is the things, and here in this branching strategy there are a lot of main branches, lot of supporting branches. First thing, we need to check out feature from development and merge the changes into the development. From development we have to create sorry, this is a release branch. So lot of things. This is intended for actually waterfall development. This is waterfall development mode. Yeah. So now
Yes.
I can hear something.
Okay.
Anybody?
So Rohit here.
Yeah. Tell me.
Uh, Now that we have come to the last session today, I just need to understand one role of DevOps admin. Get, just creating the branches is what DevOps admin or the Git admin will do, or do we have
No.
to work on the
Creating the
merge?
branches, creating the branches, developers also they can do. So this creating the branching strategy is a DevOps role, whether they are following perfect strategy or not. What are the branches they have? So this strategy will be decided by DevOps. This strategy.
Okay.
So now we are discussing the disadvantages. This is like for waterfall development model. So in this, what will happen is generally the feature of waterfall development model, long release cycles, like once in a 3 months, and parallel releases also. Some of them are working on release 1, some of them working on release 2. So like that. So this needs lot of efforts from the developers, lot of understanding. The teams will be very large. So this will not suit for agile development model, because in agile, shorter releases, maybe once in a week. We'll start once in a week or twice in a week, like that. No parallel releases. Okay, so this agile will not suit for this branching strategy. But even in my company, I can see a lot of teams are still following this branching strategy when they are doing microservices development or RESTful services development. So my job is to change their culture and to adapt to the latest cloud native development strategies. Okay, so we need to educate them as an DevOps architect or some architects, infra architects, everything. Okay, so now I will discuss what is the latest branching strategy which we adopted in our company. There are two branches, one and two main branches integration. This will point to prod, and this will point to prod ready anytime. Latest developments going on. Okay, so other than these two, anything is considered as feature branches. Now everybody is moving into microservices and cloud native development. So what is this? Microservices, one big project into small project. I can see in our company, we divided one big project into 30 small microservices. So we divided one big project into 30 small projects. So in this, we will apply this model. And currently we have once in a week release, We are working for anytime production. Means no planned releases. So this technology is adopted by Amazon, Google, Netflix, and then Facebook, and then LinkedIn and Apple. So these are the technology giants following this process. They will go to the production any point of time. Amazon is doing every 11.2 seconds one release. Actually, if you adopt this model perfectly, no need of SIT UAT testing. Okay, so unit testing and functional testing is enough. So these 7 companies or these 6 companies, they have completely automated unit test and functional testing. There is no need of SIT UAT at all. So what will happen in this strategy is you create a feature branch out of integration branch. Here, whenever you do some commits and push into the central repository, we do all the stages like building the code, check out the code. Your Jenkins pipeline will automatically run. An extra commit and a new commit, I can say, and a new commit, and Jenkins pipeline will be triggered. So that pipeline, what it will do, it will check out the code, it will compile the code, it will build the code, it will do source code analysis and unit testing, security scanning, library scans. If you are referring any third-party libraries, library scans, deployment into AWS or Kubernetes, anything, or PCF, any deployment, and then it will run functional tests, and then it will send a mail about if it is success or not. If it is success, then you have gone through all the things, all the stages. Then, so what will happen is, what should happen is, you will raise a PR. So before raising PR, I always told you, check out the main branch, pull the changes, check out feature branch again, and then do the rebasing, the main branch, and then you merge PR. So here it is fast forward only. So that it will not create extra commit. So why I'm forcing not to create extra commit and do this process is, if it creates extra commit, again this will run. Okay, and this extra commit will come into the integration. So we don't want all those extra commits to happen. So whenever, until you are in feature branch, whatever the code responsible for that feature development, we do all these stages. So once it is over, you just pull the changes from the target branch and then rebase and merge it so that no extra commit, and it means your code is completed and it has passed all the stages. From this branch you can directly send the production release. Okay, that is why it is called as prod ready anytime. For example, there is a release in next 2 weeks. my manager comes and some client comes and tomorrow and they ask me to release right now productions, I can directly release this into the production without affecting any breakage in the current functionality because it is properly tested thoroughly. So I am confident. But in earlier stages, there is no branch you can release confidently into production at any point of time. With this branching strategy, you no need to do the release in night times. You can do the release right now. Even in the peak business hours also you can do the release with some blue-green deployments, zero downtime deployments. Okay, so this is very simple and adaptable for the latest technology stacks. And we are going furthermore, there is no need of master branch at all. Just two branches, integration, feature. That's it. But I cannot tell why you don't need of a master branch. That will deviate yourself. Once you go thoroughly, then you can understand when you are practicing this in your projects. Okay, so maybe next year we are removing this master branch at all, only two branches, anytime production release, even at the peak traffic hours also. So for this to adapt, you need some settings as I told, fast forward only merging strategy, and then this PR process, and you need to rebase for the better results. Okay. So now you can say the difference of merge and rebase. Merge will create extra commit, rebase will not create extra commit. Merge will keep the history, rebase will rewrite the history. Merge, if you see the merge history, it looks like dirty, but rebase is very clean. Okay, so rebase you should not apply onto the shared branches. Why we are using rebase here is, here 30 microservice, each developer will be working on one microservice only. One project, only one developer. That's it. So in these cases, when a single person is working on his own branch, on his own project, rebase is preferred always. If you are sharing a main branch like release branch here, then you should go for merge. So this also you can mention one of the reasons. Total 4 reasons. Merge extra commit, project history looks dirty, and then what I said in earlier 3 changes. So okay, in that you can also tell merge is for the shared branches, rebase is for the not shared branches. It means like public branches you can adapt merge, private branches or your own branches or your own projects you can go for rebase. Okay, any doubts till now?
Shiva, in Agile model, if the future branch, in the sense all the 3 developers need to work with a future branch, or they can create own branches and they can merge it.
No. In Agile model, mostly 99.9% everyone creates their own branch. For example, if you get one task in the Jira, for that task you will create a branch.
Okay, but end of the day they need to merge with the future branch.
No. Main branch like development, release, or whatever it is, the main branch you need to merge. See, if you take this model, master and integration, apart from this, everything is feature branch. Suppose you got a ticket in the Jira, you need to do this task, then you will create a branch out of integration, and finally you need to merge the changes into the integration.
Okay.
If your developers are microservice, you can propose this model to them.
Okay.
Okay, it's always a mess when 2 persons are working on the same branch. That's the old model, like waterfall. Here fast releases. Now I will show you Amazon release cycle. Every 11.7 second one release. You can see this also. Earlier we were getting very slow releases from Android or WhatsApp. Nowadays, all the companies, technology giant companies, they are doing fast releases because there is a competition. If two companies are working for the same, like Flipkart and Amazon, if Flipkart is updating its site once in a 3 months or 4 months, Amazon is updating whenever they find a new feature, then obviously people will go for Amazon only because it's always updated. So companies must adapt this kind of branching strategy. So not exactly this, you can customize the branching strategy within your knowledge or within your developer's knowledge, whatever you decide. But keep the branches as minimum as possible.
Sure, Dilip here. Can you please give an example of one big project into 30 microservices?
So, earlier you see the project artifact is like ER files. For example, Java I'm taking. Enterprise archive. So one EAR contains multiple war files. Multiple jar files. For example, if you take HDFC, for example, hdfc.com, it is a single EAR. Whenever you want some, it contains wars like web archives. Wars means web archives, like internet banking, and then mobile banking, corporate, SMS banking, so anything. So there it has a lot of features, right? Everything is a single war file. If you want changes in this, but you need to release the whole thing again. You need to go for, if you want change in this, you need to release the entire hdfc.com. You will go for like you can see, right? You can remember 1 or 2 years back we were seeing there is a technology down, website maintenance downtime from 4 hours or 5 hours from midnight, it is not available. So that is because of this. Even there is a small change here, at least for 6-7 years back, because banking companies they adopted something lost in 5 years. At least I can say 2012, 2013 till 2012. You can see every month there is a 1 day, or every 2 months there is a 1 day downtime. You can see that message. We are going into the maintenance. Site will be up on Monday. So they will be doing changes in all these and releasing. Nowadays, you never see those kind of messages because all these projects, right? Every feature in the HDFC is divided, maybe here 330 here, but in real time it may be 300 or 3000, and everything is a independent releasable unit. Internet banking, you can do the changes and you can release only internet banking. If you want changes in mobile banking, you can only release mobile banking. That is because of, at least I'm saying in Java perspective, Spring Boot microservices. So in this Spring Boot microservice, internet banking itself is divided into multiple projects, like again 30 for example. So in this 30 you can say authentication is one project, authorization is one project, transfer is one project, history is one project. So like this. So we adopted the latest development strategies. But to explain it completely, it's again a big topic of how we adapted cloud native development. So you can see in future companies are always updating now to the cloud native development. So we are changing the developers to adopt the latest technologies and cloud native, that is called cloud native development. The new stack you can see here itself. Earlier we were deploying the projects into JBoss, WebLogic, WebSphere, heavyweight servers. Nowadays we are going for serverless programming into the Kubernetes, and the Tomcat is itself is a part of the code now. You no need to create an extra application server. Frameworks. See, loosely coupled microservices. There is no dependency of between projects. Something like API gateways. So these are all the strategies you should adopt. At least your developers should adopt. Otherwise, definitely your client business will go down. In last week, I saw the trending news in India. One of the trending news, HDFC Bank was down for 2 days. HDFC Internet Banking, because they are following some bad practices that made the servers down. Developers cannot do anything because their branching strategy may be like this. They cannot go for production release on the spot, or if they get some defects, they may take some time to clear, at least 1 or 2 days. But in this latest stack, you don't take any time. Within half an hour, within 15 minutes, you can clear the defects, because it's very well divided into small projects managed through agile DevOps process. So this is very important, this term, agile DevOps. Waterfall is one strategy, agile is one strategy. You have to mix agile with DevOps strategy like this. Every commit you go for scanning all the stages, and then maintain as less branches as possible. Automate your testing as much as possible. So all these are all latest strategies you have to update yourself. Automated capabilities. Okay, so this is called cloud native development. You can search this. This is very interesting. Everything is in future is cloud native only. Companies are investing very huge amounts on this. So now going forward, only two persons, developers and DevOps. Developers will do their own testing. Frankly, there is no need of testers. Developers can take care of their testing, but it will take some time to adopt this model. Okay, so first thing is DevOps, Microsoft developers, and you need some container technology like Kubernetes. So this Git and Linux admin are very important, even for developers, DevOps, anyone. It's like a mandatory topics you should understand as much as possible. But Git is very tricky, confusing, and little complex as well. But you need to think and work and practice more times. If the branching strategy is confused, then the development itself will be confused. Okay, so this is microservices based branching strategy, whatever I explained you now, you can visualize. Any other doubts?
So, what will be the role of an infrastructure architect in this? Like,
There are now two type of architects. Like till now, there is only one application architect. What they were doing is they were doing some developments and they are planning what are the logics to implement, what are the frameworks we need to do. So they are only taking care of development. But once they are in process of releasing it to the production, we were facing lot of issues. Companies were facing lot of issues, some build errors, some defects which were not tested in before the development. So those kind of things they don't care. Application architects. Now DevOps is becoming in charge of the developers. DevOps people will earlier developers they feel themselves as a great persons because of their creating something, but now they need some guidance from the DevOps people. What strategies should follow, how the development should look like. Like they can use their own frameworks and those things, but it should be we should force them to go through all these stages. So this is configured by Jenkins, Bitbucket, SonarQube, whatever it is, configuration management tools like Ansible, all these things are configured by DevOps guys. When there is a failure, earlier what was happening, when there is a failure, build and release guys were telling to the developers and there are a lot of time waste, manual works, repetitive works, annoying tasks. All those things are now automated. Now you no need to go and click the release buttons or doing some releases. Everything will be automated. Developers will get the mails instantly if there is some failure. So configuring this entire release cycle, once the developer commits something into the Bitbucket, everything is configured by DevOps. So going forward, developers should have DevOps understanding and DevOps should have the developer understanding, like how they develop. You don't need to know the coding knowledge exactly, but you should understand the way they are developing. Otherwise, you cannot suggest them.
when you say DevOps guy, are you referring to technology engineers or like technology side of DevOps?
It's not technology. It's like configuring for automation of deployments. That's it.
Can I talk?
Yeah. You
Well,
can.
well, to tell, this is one of the maybe a kind of scary session I have attended so far. I'm sorry, scary session I have attended so far because the way you analyze the things is every probability that you take uh, of a role or of a scenario or of a task. So that makes things, I mean, that initially makes us to get exposed to more number of things, and of course, and definitely it's challenging and interesting too. Uh, this is one of a kind I have attended, and this is one of a kind of session I have attended. So far. Yeah.
Yeah, things will look scary if you are not adapting the latest mindset and latest technologies. So I can read lot of news in this crisis is coming. Lot of guys in Cognizant. I got a lot of calls also from Cognizant. They are going to lose the job. They need to change the technology. Here, the main thing we focus is technology is the last part. Changing the mindset is the first thing. You can use Java, you can use .NET, you can do whatever you want, but thinking in a common sense perspective, right? So you need less defects. Ultimately, as a client, I need as less defects as possible, as fast as possible into the market compared to my competitors. Because if I am an Amazon person, I want my releases to be more frequently than Alibaba and with less defects. So if you want that rapid change you are seeing now, because in the big billion day, if Flipkart is responding in 2 minutes, if Amazon is responding instantly, which one you prefer? Obviously, Amazon business will go up. So now clients and business are under a lot of pressure from the users, end users, because they don't want downtime. They don't want delay in the services. They want as fast as possible, order placing everything. So if you want that kind of technology, you need to definitely change your mindset. So now that is the most difficult part, transforming the legacy into the digital world. So that's why every company I can see there are digital transformation, digital transformation. It's a separate department now in every MNC company, digital transformation. So in the digital transformation, microservices, DevOps, and some Internet of Things, big data analytics, data science, all these things are part. So if no doubts, we can end the session. Anybody want to speak? Okay. But my sincere suggestion is update yourself. Practice. Nothing more. Just practice. Anything, whatever you want. Just practice more times.
Thank you.
Yeah. So if no doubts, we can end the session. Have a nice day. I will update you whenever I'm going to start some Linux based or Java based, whatever. If you're developers.
So you are talking about Linux-based session that you'll be conducting, right? So what is the plans
Yeah,
for that?
Linux based. By this month end, I'm planning to conduct Linux admin, intermediate level at least, because nowadays you don't need the in-depth because we are using cloud. You don't need on-premise servers. So you need basic Linux user create management, process management, network management, service management, and then package management, disk management. These kind of things are enough to get into the any technology. So if you know Linux and Git, either you can become, if you are developers, that will be very, very good for you. If you are any kind of JBoss, WebLogic, WebSphere, and some storage space admins, Oracle admins, you can convert into the DevOps kind of automations. So I don't prefer testing also because there is a lot of investments going on artificial intelligence based testing. That will take time.
Shiva, Rohit here again.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so currently I'm working as an middleware administrator along with a little bit exposure onto the database level.
Which
So planning
administrator?
to, sorry,
Which administrator?
Oracle DB.
Okay, Oracle
And
DB. Yeah, tell me.
yeah, so I'm planning to move into DevOps now. So it would be better if you could give an exposure on how the things, I mean, if there are anything that I can refer onto clearing on the interviews or developing knowledge on Git and other DevOps tools.
Yeah, that's DevOps tools are like very vast.
Yeah,
You need to practice more. You just ping me. We can have some offline discussion.
okay.
So if no more, I'm ending the session. Have a nice day. See you again in Linux classes.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Shiva.